Never mind your liver, get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gino Spot on this Monday. We've got you on a Monday this time. Isn't that a bit different, eh? You know, the Monday is always the first day of the week back at work, and it's like, but at least you've got something to look forward to. Gino Spot on a Monday evening, and it's such a beautiful evening as well. Last night we had this red haze. Everybody's taking pictures. It's like almost like everybody else can't see the red haze, but we like to take pictures of pretty stuff. And the valley looks absolutely beautiful. I see they've cleaned up all the sludge that was flowing through the river for the last 3 days. I'm glad about that. And it's absolutely beautiful tonight, beautiful evening, and so perfect for a Gino Spot indeed. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we speak to Charles Garai, and he is ex-mayor, of course, but he's got all sorts of interests, and he's a councillor, he's a lawyer, we're going to do a bit of LA law today. I've been grilling him on his law, which is fantastic fun. He does a criminal lawyer, which is great. I think we're going to have like what do you call CSI on tonight here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino Spot, and thank you to our sponsors, Fitch & Leeds. And of course, Spa, who've been absolutely fantastic to us. I always say it, but I always mean it. They are incredible, and they've supported us over this 2-year odd lockdown that we've had. And of course, Mobia, our internet provider, our internet has been going so well. Touch wood, I know, because internet is just always seems to be the biggest obstacle you've got to do with live streaming. And Mobia have been incredible. Nicola and the guys, I can't thank you guys enough. And then Fat Cats, our catering people, they will be on Thursday as well to bring us some nice munchies to eat. Grace is amazing with Fat Cats. She's whenever we do functions, she always feeds the musos first. I like that, Grace. I like that. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know where you are watching from. Tell me where you're watching from and what you're drinking. I've got a little bit of I've got a lemonade and a Punters. I put a little bit of Punters. Thanks, Keith, for the Punters. And I put a little bit of lemonade with it tonight. It's very refreshing, with the bitter ice, because it's quite hot today. And so let me know where you're watching from, and let me know what you're doing. Give me some comments, and we'll sing a little song for you. How about that? Woo! That's right. Oh, wait. John Skippers. All right. Car Park John. Brendan Kelly. Oh. Good evening, just know. That's right, just know's my new name. Loving this weather at the moment. Miramar with the nice cold whiskey. Miramar with the nice cold whiskey. Don't let them shoot you. Oh no. There we go. And Alan Carter's over there. Says, how's it from the UK? That's right. We got Gary Alberts on the line. He says, hello, Gino. Watching from Switzerland. Woo! I think that might be the first time someone from Switzerland. Woo! Oh yes, but Remo Schneider, he was also there. Do you know him from Switzerland? I'm sure Switzerland's so small. You all see each other all the time. Yeah. All right. Woo. Could you be love? Could you be love? Could you be love? Could you be love? Oh. Could you be love? Alan Carter! Gary Alberts, how's it from Switzerland? I love the Switzerland vibe, eh? Swiss Army knives, we got all sorts. Batwood, oh yeah, Batwood. And there's Lynn Singer, watching from a couch with water pouring. I know this you boring. That's okay, Lynn Singer. You gotta go to the store and buy some switch leads. Only. I don't know what the price is, but I could have said only. Maybe it's 100 rand. Oh, could you be loved? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gino Spot. It's lovely to have you all online today as well and seeing you from all over the world. I love that. The internet is like that. The internet, you can get people from all over the place into Gino Spot on a Monday night, of all nights indeed. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go straight into our interview. Of course, Sir Stuart Potgieter. How's it, Stuart? Amazing photographer, that man. Yeah, it's some of the shots I've seen online, especially the Music Kitchen stuff. I always see you do such a good job there, Stuart. And I hope there are lots of people out there that can say we're going to use Stuart, because artists and whether it be singing, or whether it be photography, or whether it be painting, we all need your help during this lockdown time and to get out now. Hopefully everything's going to start going forward and people are going to need that stuff again instead of just sitting in lockdown. All right. Herman de Blanche, nice to see you as well. I know Herman's been around for yonks as well. He was always, even in the days of my metal bands, he was there. Hello, so he says, hello, Uncle Charles, says Herman de Blanche. And Alan Carter, Stuart is a great snapper. He's incredible. So he just gets that right look. I think it's the photographers, they just know what to do. They just know how to do it. Camilla Ellis, running a bit late tonight, indeed. Oh, well, don't worry, Camilla, you didn't miss too much. Indeed, just my song, and we're going to get our guest, Charles Garai. I think it's Garai or Garai. We'll find out from him soon. It's Hungarian, I believe. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. We're going to have a little bit of Fitch and Leeds introduction to our guest tonight. Fitch and Leeds, you've got to mix it, that'll fix you on the table. Fitch and Leeds, the bespoke mixer for the discerning individual. All right, welcome to Charles. Charles, welcome to the studio. I'm just putting all these microphones around you so people can hear you, because you are quite soft-spoken lad, in the end. Have you been? I remember speaking to you a little while back about your council days, and you said that you had a couple of those meetings at the town hall.
One or two.
Yeah, did you have a couple of those? You have a good screaming match there.
Not in the old days.
Not in the old days.
Not in the old days.
Dogs barking, yeah. Not in the old days.
No, there were no screaming matches. That's a new introduction.
Yeah, is it a new thing
to the system? Yeah.
Did my lemma bring that stuff in? I suppose.
I'm not quite sure who the architect was, but.
Oh my word! And I mean, because I expected. I've heard the name Charles. Is it Garai?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Garai, is that the correct pronunciation?
For an Italian, yeah, you're doing
okay. Good, very good. I can quickly try. Because I know that you knew my uncle Nedo as well.
Yes, I did.
Was that from GM days or?
No, that was from school days.
School days, of course. The Marist brothers.
Correct.
Marist brothers. I love that, and we're going to go into that Marist history as well.
Oh dear.
And we'll do that too.
Oh dear.
Well, I think people love to hear about it as well, because with your age and experience now, you've pretty much, PE backwards, and all those little memories that people hang on to. I love that sort of thing, So Marist being one of them, of course, yes.
Yeah,
Days. Were you at the Bird Street campus as well?
I was actually at both.
Oh, really? Okay.
Started off at Bird Street, and then when they opened Walmer, I was just at the right point.
Ah.
So I moved from Bird Street over to Walmer.
Okay, because I remember my father saying that he dug the swimming pool. I think at the new campus. He was also. I think he was also.
I think he lied.
He said they got the I don't know if it was the day boys or whatever to do this digging for the pool.
Well, I can tell you this much, that at one stage, the Dolphin Underwater Club were using the pool at Maris Brothers
Yes.
for training.
Yeah.
I actually did the full course underwater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was a beautiful pool, that.
Was a really
And
nice
the
pool.
diving boards and everything there.
It works.
Yeah, I remember that.
It works.
And I suppose they could hire it out, I suppose, to different spaces.
Well, I
and stuff.
can't, I wasn't party to
Yeah.
the arrangements or
Yes.
anything, but I know that because I did the course there.
Yeah.
It was a full-blown course where,
hopefully
right
that-
at the end, they threw everything in the deep end
Yeah.
and told you to go down and come back up with everything on. So,
Really? My word! But then I love those sort of stories. But let's start with what you're doing at the moment. I know that you're in council up until last year November.
correct.
What have you been doing with yourself this year now? What is your plan for this year?
Well, that's not all that easy to pinpoint under the current circumstances.
Yes.
But I can't just sit still and do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very fortunate in that, as an attorney, I don't have a sell-by date.
Yes. Okay. So you're still involved.
I'm
then?
still practicing law, and I'm going to move back into doing more than I have up until now.
Yeah.
There just wasn't enough time to do the duties of a councillor
Yeah.
and also practice law.
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah. I mean, it must get hectic on the law side, I'm sure. I'm just going to get my notes. I've got a couple of things that I don't want to forget as well. But
I'm
so
afraid of that, yeah.
yeah, it's fine. No, I always say that this show is always about taking PE forward, taking Tabecha forward, and being positive, because it's got so much to give. You know, this town.
This is a fantastic place,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
When you think what's happened over the last 25, 30 years,
Yeah.
I mean, when I can think back to the days when I was mayor.
Yeah.
For 2 years running, we won the prize for the cleanest city in South Africa.
Wow.
And look at us now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We still might be the cleanest because relative terms.
Well, these days everything is relative.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if we can get back to that kind of point where we've got everyone involved and just moving forward to try and get also tourism. You know, it's just such a great tourist town.
Yes, it is. It used to be.
Yeah. Well, there's still hope. I think there's still hope.
Well, I think when you stop hoping, you may as well just lie down and die.
Exactly. So we don't want that.
No, one's got to look at the bright side. There's always a positive to everything, but you just got to find it sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. And so a bit of law now as well.
Correct.
You're doing as well.
Well, I've been practicing law for 45 years, so
That's incredible.
I may as well go back to it.
Yeah, but did you leave it for a while then while you were in council?
I've been on council twice. The first time was for 20 years, and then now, up until November last year, was another 5 years. So I've done a total of 25 years.
25, yeah.
But in the beginning, it wasn't difficult to combine being a councillor with practicing law.
Yeah, okay.
The circumstances were completely different.
Yeah.
The structure's completely different now to what it was then.
Yeah.
Just by way of a simple example, the position of the mayor in the old days was mainly ceremonial.
Yeah.
You kissed babies and went to teas and promoted the city and stuff
Yes.
like that. Today it's completely different. One of the systems that the one we're running under is that there's an executive mayor with executive authority.
Okay.
It was nothing like that
Yeah.
in the day when I was mayor. It was purely a ceremonial position.
Okay. Who actually was the council then control everything?
Well, there were 25 councillors, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
We now have 120. Okay.
Wow.
The traditional areas, the townships were not counted in at that stage because it didn't come under the council
Okay.
directly as it is now.
Yes, yes.
So it's completely different.
Sure. Yeah.
But things have changed totally.
Yeah, for sure. I see just Kathy Gimniani saying hello there. Hey, Charlie, good to see you, she says.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Is this Italiano?
She's married to an Italiano.
Yes, of course.
She's ex-Port Elizabeth. She's now in England and has been for quite a while.
Yes, okay. I've been in England, okay.
Very
'Cause I know
old-
there's,
very old
Gimniani's-
friend.
There's a Gimniani here as well, and I can't remember his first name, but we just call him Gimniani, but he's always at the club, eh? And I see him every now and again.
Probably family.
Yes, I know, absolutely.
I know that she still has children here.
Okay. So I'm Gimniani. And Lindridge also saying hello. Such a lovely man who's
Hey.
done so much for Port Elizabeth, says Anne Lindridge. That's Jenny's mom. Danielle VE says, Uncle Charles, a man of great wisdom. Danielle. Don't know this Danielle.
I'm going to start loving her immediately.
Ex-girlfriends must be.
No, unfortunately not. Very kind of her to say that, though.
Lovely. Yeah, no, I mean, and you were mayor. What year was your mayorship?
93, 94.
Is it,
I didn't do a full term of 2 years.
okay.
The town
Of course,
clerk,
94.
yeah, the town clerk at the time was Pika Botha,
Okay.
and his dream was to be the first city in South Africa to switch over to the new system with a non-white mayor.
Yes.
And he got his wish.
Okay.
We were in fact the first city. Faku took over from me.
Okay. Never Faku took over.
took
And
over.
before you was that John Vera?
I'm not sure if it was Johnny or yeah, it's quite probably Johnny.
Okay. He's a lovely man as well.
Yes, he is.
Very, very nice chap. But the Portuguese. Porra, yeah.
As you ites would say.
Yes, itais. We're the wops, or what are we? The itais. There we go. And Wendy Swanell's tagging you that's your daughter Samantha, huh?
That is correct,
Oh,
yes.
excellent. She's saying hi. So so two
I've
children.
got 2 children. I've got a son, Andrew.
Okay, St Andrew as well.
He had a gym in the valley for quite a few years
Yes.
until the lease ran out.
Okay.
But of advertising for him, he's now runs at the Crusader ground.
Oh, is he
in
there?
Park Drive, yeah.
Okay.
That's where the gym is.
All right, because Dante Cicconini owns some of that those places down there. If he wants to go down to down to that area again, we speak to the Italians. We know what to talk to.
You remember? Don't forget, I've got friends.
I got the friends.
I've got the friends.
Absolutely. So, I mean, but are you officially on retirement now? It's kind of like you trying to get onto retirement, or not?
No, I'm 80 years old.
Yes.
I've hit 80.
Yes.
Now I'm my own boss.
Okay.
Fortunately, as I said to you, there's no forced retirement age as there is in other,
Yes.
like if you had work for a firm.
Yeah.
So I can carry on practicing law.
You can do whatever you want.
There's 45 years of
Yes.
experience in there.
And it's law, and you a criminal lawyer. Is that right?
I've always wondered about that term.
Yes, a criminal lawyer.
I'm a criminal lawyer.
Chantal Cuthbert saying hi, Charles. Awesome to see the chat.
Hi, Chantal.
Chantal, of course, wife of Dale, who's helps me with my car, which is the East Cape Motors.
Okay.
Fords, we drive in the
Well, I
Ford.
see there's an Alpha in the garage.
Yes, no, but that's my wife's still got the Italian vibe going, but I drive the Fords. I'm trying to get her over to that.
I've had a lot of Alphas. I'm a great Alpha
Are you
fan.
also an Alpha fan?
Yes, I'm an Alpha fan.
No, I think it's an Alfisti. What do they call it? The Alfistis. Once you're there, they say it. But I'm Italian and I'm driving the Ford. I love it. It's very practical.
Disgusting. It borders on being a traitor.
You've got to be practical when you're driving a car. You can't just be like, hey, hello.
Look, there's nothing wrong with a Ford.
Yes.
I just happen to like Italian cars.
It's for the ladies. It's for the ladies.
Never mind the ladies. Once you've driven something like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, then you know what motoring is.
Well, I'm sure Dale will disagree because he'll say, bring out the Mustangs, bring out the muscle car.
There's no substitute for cubic inches.
There's not. There's not. Big old engines. You look too young to be 80, says Wendy now. Tell us the truth, she says.
I wish I was lying, but I'm not.
Oh, yeah, no, it creeps up on one. It does.
Yeah, I don't know where the last 40 years of my life have gone.
Oh, man. So, Sammy says hi, Daddy-O. She says, that's your daughter saying hello to you.
Hi, Sammy. love you a lot, sweetheart.
Does she call you Daddy-O? Or
Sometimes.
Shame, man.
Sometimes.
Oh, man. And the law part interests me because we had a quick chat before we came on, and I mean you've had to do some crazy cases over the last how many years is it? You said 40.
About 45. Somewhere
45
between
years.
45 and 50 altogether.
That's a lot of cases. You must have had some crazy stuff happen there.
Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, especially in law.
Yeah. Tell us a story or two there. Come on, Charles. I want to hear the CSI version.
The CSI. You know, in the old days when I first started practicing law, the defence never had access to the docket.
Yeah.
So you went into court basically blind.
Yes.
It's not like today where you can get a copy of the docket and you know exactly what facts are where.
Yes.
In those days, you just didn't have access. The first time you actually knew what was in the docket was when you were in court on trial.
Yo.
So I got instructed in a matter with one of my colleagues who shall be nameless.
Yes. Shall remain nameless.
From the northern areas.
Yes.
He had a family member that used to stay on the premises as a night guard.
Okay.
And the old man got a bit bored at night and he dug around and he got the number of a sex site in Johannesburg. And he ran up 130,000 Rand account on the phone. And he duly got charged for fraud.
Oh, my soul.
Because he used somebody's details from a file.
Oh, okay.
So I thought to myself, well, I didn't have a chance to chat to the prosecutor.
Yes.
We were going to plead guilty. I'd prepared the plea already,
Yeah.
run it past the magistrate. He said, that's great, I'll accept it. And we go into court and I say to the prosecutor, just show me the statements that you've got.
Yeah.
So he says, I haven't got any statements. I say, what? You got no statements?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to plead guilty.
I'm innocent.
At that, the magistrate walks in, says, how do you plead? We say, not guilty. And he looks at me.
He's just spoken to you.
The long and the short of it was that the uncle had picked up a sex site in Joburg.
Yeah.
He'd run up this account. The place had been closed down. Everybody had disappeared. The names of the girls were Lulu Bell and Sweetness and Sunshine and pick whatever you like.
I'll pick a name.
So nobody could find anything. At that stage, the state withdrew the charges.
Can you believe it? So he got away scot-free.
Absolutely.
Oh, lovely. Shame. I mean, he probably didn't even think about it. Actually, he didn't even think about it.
No, he never thought of the consequences.
Yeah. Just
There
like,
was his name and he thought, well, let me phone this person.
Yeah.
I'm bored, it's night time, I've got the phone here.
Yeah. Who's it gonna harm? Oh, shame, man. Yeah. And I mean, I know that I mean, some of these cases have been quite high profile as well over the years, I'm sure.
Probably the most high profile one was that Chinese murdered on the beachfront about 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Yeah, was that with the guys who was beheaded and Lord knows
Theoretically, yeah.
what? Theoretically.
I defended the guys who were arrested. There were 3 people arrested.
Yeah.
I was the defending attorney in that.
Okay.
Ultimately, the state withdrew the charges against everybody.
Wow.
I gave them the name of the person that actually did the crime.
Okay.
They'll never find him.
Yeah.
Even if they do find him, there's no witnesses.
Yeah.
So that case is going to be, well, nothing's going to happen at all.
Yeah.
The
Sure,
funny,
scary.
if there's anything being funny about a murder trial, but when they took about 6 weeks to discover the body. Somebody, one of the organizations was cutting grass next to the road.
Yes, it was up there towards Deal Party Way somewhere.
It was on the road to Grahamstown,
Grahamstown Road.
past Bluewater Bay.
Okay.
And he walked around the bush, he felt the call of nature.
Yes.
And he went down the bush and he said, there was this leg sticking up out of the ground. And he said, it was a Chinese leg.
Oh, how did you know that?
Well, there's probably a little plaque on it that said made in China.
Something.
And that was the first body part they found, but eventually the state withdrew the charges against everybody that they'd arrested.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that is quite
I
scary.
have no idea where the perpetrator is. They disappeared overnight.
Yeah, because we were just talking about the fact that being a defense lawyer, total gentleman and a man of integrity, says Wendy Swanell. She's out in Tsitsikamma. Stuart Potgieter says, I used to cycle with Charles and Herman, the Lord of the Rings. Who's the...
Absolutely true. My lips are sealed.
Oh, really?
My lips are sealed. I don't care how much you twist my arm. This one's not going on.
Well, I sensed that it's got something to do with the ring.
But nothing to do with me.
Okay. No, it's got obviously Herman.
I just know the story.
Oh, right.
Because I was there at the time.
Oh, my
and I was
word.
involved in it.
Oh, my word. Was it something to do with some really... some dodgy food or something?
My lips are sealed.
We can't out him, Stuart. We can't out Herman. You can tell the story there on the line. Oh, no, the cycling buddy. So when you are a criminal defense lawyer, I mean, you could easily be defending somebody who's guilty, and you say that you don't ask, because you have to be that lawyer. You have to have somebody.
That's one question I learned very quickly in the legal profession.
Yeah.
That's the one question I never asked.
Yeah.
What I do ask is, what's your story?
Okay. So
Look, I can think what I like,
Yeah.
but my job, if I don't do it, there's 100 other lawyers who'll do the case.
Yeah. Of course.
So if somebody wants to say, but ethically, why do you do these cases?
Yeah.
I never know if the guy's guilty or not. I can think what I like, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
And everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
entitled to a robust defense.
Yeah.
So I never asked that my question. My question was, what's your story?
Yeah.
There have been a couple of times when I've walked out in the middle of a case
Okay.
because there was a conflict
Sure.
and I'd rather walk away from it.
Okay.
Every attorney, when they're admitted to practice as an attorney,
Yes.
take an oath of allegiance to the court.
Okay.
Every attorney is actually an officer of the court.
Okay.
I can't stand up there and be a party to a lie if
Yeah.
I know it's a lie.
If you know, if you've seen proof that it's a lie.
If I don't know, because I don't ask,
Yeah.
then I can't.
Wow.
Correct.
Okay.
There have been, as I said, a couple of instances where I've walked away in the middle of a trial simply because the guy gave a different story during the trial than what he gave me. And
Then he's lying. So you know he's lying one way or the other,
Correct.
and you can't be sure of the information you're getting.
correct.
It must be. I can't imagine the kind of stress that you must have been under over the years.
Well, sometimes you've got the guy's the rest of his life in your hands,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether they're guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, in a criminal matter, the state has to prove beyond any reasonable doubt
Yeah.
that the person is guilty.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the job of the state.
Yeah.
It's not the job of the defense to prove his innocence.
Yes. Yeah. That's true. Because often that's what the pitchfork guys would love. You know, they out there go, oh, he's guilty. Why? Tell me why you're not guilty. It's not like that. It's
No.
actually. Tell me why.
I never asked that question.
Yeah.
I truly don't want to know.
Yeah.
I can think what I like, then I can decide to do what I want to do.
Yes. Yes.
But I never asked that question.
Okay. And then you give them the best defense they can get.
Yeah.
With that.
It's not me standing in the witness box, it's the client.
Yeah.
If he wants to lie to the court, that's his business.
Sure. Yeah.
And if it gets caught out, it's still his business.
Yeah. And any other cases that you can give us as a story so if something went wrong or something strange happened?
Not really. Those are the two that kind of stick in my mind.
Stick in my
mind.
rest, is most of the stuff mundane? I mean, is it like small stuff and
Look, there's so many different crimes. I mean, it goes from shoplifting to housebreaking to murder to rape. I mean, there's such a list.
Yeah.
There's the entire Criminal Procedure Act.
Yeah.
So take your pick.
Yeah. But that is but it's like I say, that's a big weight on you as a defense attorney as well. you know, it's stress, or surely it's a stressful job.
Sometimes it's well nigh impossible to separate yourself emotionally.
Yeah,
And that's dangerous
yeah.
for everybody, yourself included.
Yes, yes. Did you go through some sort of regimen or something to try and protect yourself from that sort of thing, or?
I've walked away from a couple of cases simply because I didn't want to defend the person involved.
All right. So there have been cases where you've actually said, no, this is, I'm not going to defend this guy.
An easy one that comes to mind, quite early in my legal career,
Yeah.
I defended somebody on a charge of drunken driving.
Yeah.
He was 19 years old, it was his third conviction. I said to him, if I was you, I would go to counselling immediately,
Yeah.
etc., etc. And I said to him, but otherwise you're going to go to jail. In all probability, there's a suspended sentence hanging over him anyway.
Already.
To cut a long story short, turned out the blood count was 0.34. The current one is 0.05, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that gives you an idea of how far down the road he was.
Yes, yes.
He was paralytic drunk. He drove from one bar to the other. He can't remember driving
Wow.
to the different place.
Yeah.
And I said to him, but you've got a problem. And he said, I haven't got a problem.
Yo.
I said to him, of course you've got a problem.
Yeah.
So it's okay, you only drink on Fridays and Saturday nights.
Yeah.
He says, I don't get drunk any other time, only Fridays and Saturdays.
He's dangerous
So-
when he gets drunk.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I actually said to him, if I go and defend you now, I'm going to make sure you go to jail.
Yeah.
So I better get out of this now. I walked out and said to him, get another attorney.
Wow. Okay, sure. Who are the other attorneys that are around that defend, that do defence?
Oh, there are several guys that do criminal work.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone that who was your mentor when you started? Who were your mentors?
I didn't actually have a mentor as such.
So you just went straight out from university to
No, I started swatting law when I was about 30.
Wow, so late bloomer.
I did it through UNISA.
Wow, okay, part time.
Yeah.
You probably did better. Do you think you did better than if you'd started straight out of school?
That's difficult to answer.
Yeah.
At least when I decided to do law, it was a measured decision. It wasn't going into something because I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah.
As it turns out, for me, it suits my personality and my character.
Yeah, because you strike me as a soft-spoken person. You're not like you're not loud and brash and out there. You know, so you would think as a lawyer you'd have to be like that. Have you got that in you? Have you got that bulldog in
I
you?
can shout if I have to.
Is it? So you have got to. We'll have to ask Samantha about that. I don't know if Samantha's online to tell us.
But you catch more flies with honey.
Oh right. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, you've got a special Trixie hobbitses. What do they say?
Oh, you take somebody by the nose and lead him down the wrong path.
Yes. With lots with honey. So that's crazy. 45 years as a criminal defence. And when you see these things on TV, do you quite enjoy these?
I do enjoy them, but it's nothing like real life. Certainly not in South Africa.
Yes.
I mean, all those movies are based on American system,
Yeah.
which is totally different to ours.
Yeah, it's a jury and the judge and the jury. And
Well, until the early 60s, there was a jury system in South Africa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. They changed that now.
Yeah.
So how does it differ? Because I'd love to know how that kind of works. Because I know in America they pick up a whole bunch of people from. Just seems like anybody. They just pull up.
There's a system in the States where everybody's obliged to do jury system.
Jury duty.
They got 320 million people, if I remember correctly,
Yes, yeah,
in America.
No, it's maybe more. I think it's probably.
Yeah, it is more now. So they've got a big pool to pick from.
Yes. Okay.
The difference in the jury system is in America there's 12 people on the jury, if I remember correctly, and they decide whether the guy's guilty or not. South Africa, it works with a magistrate.
Okay. And what sort of powers? How does it
The
work?
magistrate listens to the trial.
And he decides.
He's in the place of the jury.
Okay.
So imagine.
It's one oak.
Correct.
Sure.
Correct.
Well, it's probably more. It's probably quicker. You know, it's probably.
It is quicker, especially if you watch some of these American movies.
Yeah.
And
The trials go on.
the one
and
guy
on and on.
sitting in the corner refuses to say whether he's guilty or innocent.
Yes, yeah, yes, yeah. Yeah, and then they always try and get those jurors. You like try and get to them somehow. You know? There's always the story with that. But so there's one magistraat, and he's the one that decides.
One magistraat.
And if you don't like what the magistraat says, you can appeal.
You can go and appeal, yeah.
Okay, and then you go to the next one up, which is what, the judge.
High Court.
High Court. Okay, so it's a
Supreme Court as it used to be.
Oh, okay. So High Court Supreme Court is now High Court.
Correct.
Okay, and then above that it's like.
Well, you got
the Supreme
court, the Bloemfontein, the Court of Appeal, which is the top court.
Okay.
The Con Court is there to deal with constitutional issues, not normal criminal stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes it goes there on a point of law,
Yes.
but the Con Court, people make the mistake, a Con Court is not there to try a matter.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It's just to make a law decision, I suppose.
Correct.
Okay.
Predominantly about the Constitution.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to have a look at a couple of these things. The comments coming up. Charlie, mind in the gutter. Love you. Inspirational. That's the greatest of all time. That's what a goat is. I discovered the other day. I was seeing goat everywhere. I didn't even know what goat was.
Kim is a very special lady.
She's going to be on the show at some stage. She's coming on. I know we've got you now.
3rd of March.
3rd of March. Kim's coming on. Make a date, Kim. We got you on 3rd of March.
Well, I think it's actually her birthday today.
Oh, is it? Kim's birthday?
Kim's birthday.
Happy birthday, Kim.
Very special lady. She and her husband
Okay.
ride tandem.
Okay, right.
And the reference to the reference to the gutter is literally being in the gutters next to them on a bike.
Did you wipe out? Oh my word. Wendy Thompson saying happy birthday, Kim Griffin Robson.
Yeah, it's Kimmy's birthday today.
Oh, lovely. 21 today. Here we go.
Kimmy, I sent you a happy birthday wish, but here's another one on air.
Oh, lovely. I see Gary's putting a little note here. He wants to find out about your memories as mayor.
Yeah, they're pretty good memories.
Yes. Do you enjoy your time as mayor? Obviously, like you said, it was a more ceremonial role at that
It
time.
basically was a ceremonial role. As I said, the mayor had no executive authority.
Yeah. Okay.
It was more a ceremonial position.
Chain and you had the car. You had a car in those days.
CB1.
CB1, baby. I love that.
I got a story for you on CB1 if you want it.
Yes, please tell me a story.
The chauffeur of CB1 was a gentleman by the name of Monty Uren.
Okay.
Monty must have served under 15, 18 mayors as the chauffeur.
Wow, 18 mayors.
So it was a nice, shiny, big four-door black Audi.
Oh, right.
Because we decided we were going to support local...
Yes, Volkswagen, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yes,
correct.
yes. Okay.
So here's this big black four-door Audi. And we were going somewhere one day and I said to Monty, I want to drive.
Yes.
He said, you can't. I said, I want to drive. He said, you can't. You sit in the back, I sit in the front, I chauffeur you. You can't drive.
Okay.
So I said to Monty, whose car is this? He said, it's yours. I said, so give me the keys. And then for a while we drove around. He refused to sit in the back. He sat next to me in the front. We had a lot of fun.
My word.
But he had his birthday
Yes.
at that stage.
Okay.
And I spoke to Pierre Carboto, who was the town clerk at that point. Today it's the CFO.
Okay.
The guy is in
Financial
charge.
manager.
So I go to the town clerk and I say to him, let's do something for Monty for his birthday.
Yeah.
So we decided to take him for breakfast to the Elizabeth Hotel.
Lovely.
So I get them to deliver CB1 to me early in the morning.
Okay.
I had to spin Monty a story as to
Oh,
why
right.
he wasn't getting the car.
Okay.
I put on a collar and tie and I put on the small chain, the mayoral chain.
Yes.
And I rocked up at Monty's house and pounded on the door. When he opened the door,
Yeah.
there I was. I said to him, Monty, happy birthday. We're going for breakfast. I said, get in the back of the car. That took a bit of persuading.
All right. So you didn't want to get in it.
Didn't want to get into the back. I chauffeured him down to the hotel.
Yes.
We had breakfast. The town clerk met us at the hotel,
Lovely.
together with his secretary and Jenny, who was the mayor's secretary.
Okay.
We had breakfast. I got the press to meet us at the hotel, so when we arrived, they took photographs.
Oh, lovely.
I got out and I opened the door for Monty.
The Herald.
It was in the paper. Then when we went back to City Hall, I drove up onto the plane, to
Yes.
hell with the brickwork,
Okay.
and I stopped at the steps to City Hall. Again, the press were there. They took photographs of Monty being delivered. Somewhere I've still got a photograph of me and Monty in the car.
I love it.
I don't think any mayor before or after me has ever driven CB1 themselves.
Yeah. No, what I don't, they've still got CB1. No, it's not CB1 anymore, obviously. There's Samantha Garai saying, totally taking the fifth on comments about my dang being forceful or shouting. But he's the coolest dad in the world. Thanks, Samantha. I knew I could get some truth from you. Stick around, Samantha. We'll ask you some more questions.
Thanks, my sweetheart. Love you too.
You know, you can be sure your kids will out you for all your truths. You know.
Sam in particular, yes.
Yes. Classic. And I'm sure Sam was Sam at Clarendon Park as well. I'm pretty sure she must have been there when I
Yeah,
was
she
there.
was Clarendon. Both my kids, and Andrew, my son, was also at Clarendon.
No, I'm sure I know these two
And
because
then I wasn't going to run a taxi service from two separate schools in town because it's a boy and a girl.
Yes.
So I wanted a co-ed school, and the only one I could find close enough was Theodore Herzl.
Oh, Theodore. Of
So
course.
both my kids from Standard 5, I think,
Okay, yes.
went to Theodore.
Oh, I see. Okay. From Standard 5. So then, because it would have been, they would have been up to Clarendon Standard 4. So she probably would have been. She absolutely would have been with me at Clarendon Park, and I remember the name as well. And your son is a little bit older or younger?
He's younger, 27 months.
Okay. Oh, it's also
She's the older of the two.
all
Yeah.
right. All right. And so mayoral days as well. Anything that happened at that time that was an interesting story, or anything that you can think of that was something that you remember, maybe
Like what?
functions or something that's.
Well, one of the things that I remember is when I was at school, I used to have my hair cut at a firm called Dorasami.
Oh yes.
It was in just off Walmer Boulevard,
Yes.
which wasn't Walmer Boulevard in those days.
Yeah.
And there was a hotel there. I seem to think it was called the Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales. They'll tell us online.
Okay.
People will know as well. Was
Sure
it
it
Prince
was-
of Wales in Southend?
The hotel was actually fronting onto the main road.
Okay.
And on Fridays, it got quite hectic because the entrance to the bar was directly across the road from Dorasami's salon.
A salon. He's a haircut hair barber.
And he had a special gate with chicken wire so that if any stones came flying across the road.
What?
So that's where I had my hair cut.
Okay,
So
a
when
bit
I-
of a rough joint for your haircut.
Yeah, but you know, that was in the old days. Southend was still Southend.
Yes.
So when I was mayor, the mayors traditionally used to hold a Saturday morning tea for the bejaardes,
Okay. Oh,
for
bejaardes.
the elderly.
Oh, shame, yes.
So there I am on the stage, and the place is packed, Feather Market Hall.
Yeah.
And right at the back, this little guy gets up and he says, "I bet you don't remember me."
You don't remember me?
I said to him, "Yes, I do. You Bobby Doris Sammy, you used to cut my hair. Come up here."
Oh, magic.
And I got him up onto the stage. I introduced him to the crowd.
Oh, love it.
And I said, "This man used to cut my hair when I was a teenager."
Oh, that is so sweet, man.
That made his day.
I'm sure it must have. You don't remember me? It was chicken wire. So, yeah, I mean, that's Southend days, and we'll get into that as well, because I love your memory of those days too. And a lot of the guys online remember that as well. The the DuckTales and the bus conductors.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, gangs in PE, South End.
China.
China, yes.
Danny Liebenberg. That was his
name.
actual name.
His actual name.
He was known as China.
China's name was Danny Liebenberg. This guy's like an urban legend in PE.
He was a welder by profession.
Okay. Tough guy.
Reputedly so.
Defense lawyer talking. Reputably so. He didn't like people's knees.
There used to be the Willow Tree was a parlour for ice cream and sundaes and stuff like that.
Okay, yes.
And in Port Elizabeth at that stage, and we're talking about probably the mid-50s.
Yes, because the Willow Tree, there was one on the beachfront and there was one in Main
This
Street.
was at the bottom of Grey Street.
Grey Street.
Next to the mosque.
Oh, okay, in Grey Street.
Same Michael's Record Centre used to be round the corner from the jeweller.
Fishers.
Fishers, yeah.
Fishers Jewelers. Okay.
And the parlour was right down the bottom on the left-hand side going down.
Okay.
We're there one Saturday afternoon. We used to go there after movies to have
Ice creams.
Yeah, take
That's
ice creams and take some chick for ice cream
there's
after
it,
the
eh?
movie, yes, eh? It's a different world.
Yeah, there's this whole lot of lingo.
There we were sitting in the ice cream parlour.
Yes.
And all of a sudden there's this racket of a motorbike. There was a crowd in Port Elizabeth in those days by the name of Valley Crabs.
The Valley Crabs.
It was a motorbike gang.
Yes.
And they were chummies to a large extent with the DuckTales, etc., etc.
Okay.
There we are sitting in the Willow Tree. This guy rides his BSA motorbike,
Your old one.
over the pavement, into the Willow Tree, down the length of the Willow Tree. The Willow Tree had the only jukebox in town. Was in the Willow Tree.
Jukebox.
The jukebox.
Perfect.
Put money in and it plays records.
Yes, it dumps those records. Thump.
He rode his motorbike right down to the bottom of the Willow Tree, round the jukebox and out again.
Holy.
And everybody just sat there and watched this.
I love those old stories. People will remember that for years. I mean, the bus conductors, were they just a lot of bus conductors around that they had a gang? I mean, I don't know.
There was a time when there was a feud between the bus conductors and the DuckTales.
Yes. Now, I've heard about this.
And they went, I think, if I remember correctly, the bus conductors went on a rampage with scissors. They're going to catch a couple of these duckies and cut their hair
off. Yeah, Barbara says China used to stand outside the Grand Cinema on Saturdays in the 60s.
You're right, he did.
When you just check in that people come in, making sure they've got some protection.
Well, we never paid him.
Yeah, okay. He was just there.
Maybe he kept carrots out from the bioscope. There was Grand Bioscope across the road from Grey Street.
Okay.
Next to OK Bazaars was the Grand Bioscope.
The Grand Bioscope. Okay.
And you could go to Saturday morning movies for 6 cents or 2 rand or whatever it was. I can't even remember the amount anymore.
I'm sure they'll remember.
Somebody will remember.
Yes. How much it used to cost for a movie. And so, China used to hang out there. Maybe he was just a shy person, He was just looking for a bit of company.
Well, one of the guys on the fringes of the DuckTales was a guy by the name of Little Joe.
Oh, yes.
Little Joe was about 6'6".
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hence the name Little Joe.
Little Big Joe.
But he broke the South African underwater record at the Oceanarium when they had the original small tank.
Yes.
They didn't always have that very big tank. They started off with quite a small tank, which became the second tank at the Oceanarium complex.
The seal tank.
Yeah. And he broke the South African underwater record. That was with aqualungs, with bottles.
Oh, wow, okay. So the longest to be underneath?
Underwater, yeah.
Wow. It was a thing in those days as well, to do like a world record for the longest whatever.
Yeah.
I was talking about Jerome Dempsey doing in OK Bazaars or...
He was a drummer.
Or Greatermans. Yeah, he's a guy, yeah.
He drummed.
Jerome is a drummer.
Yeah.
And he's still around. And I'd love to hear his story about his world record attempt on the longest plane. playing the longest, and I think he got to a point, according to my folks, where he was just like he was seeing things, started to have hallucinations. I think he must have fallen off his chair eventually after so many hours. But yeah, so world record attempt.
He actually broke the record.
He did it as well. Okay.
I can't remember now if it was the South African record or the world record, but it was a record.
He was, yeah.
Little Joe, all 6'4", 6'6" of him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a through and through vicious ducktail.
Oh, okay. Well, the ducktails they were quite hectic.
Some of the guys,
Switchblades and whatever.
Some of the guys. Okay. But that was a different era.
Yeah. Because it's all about this cave story that comes in front of you.
Yep.
Oh no! And so let's go just quick, because you had Maris brothers to start with, and with my father and my uncle. I remember.
I knew your uncle. Yeah.
Yes, and they they used to speak about Maris. It's amazing how that 5 years of your life, or however long you were there. It was 12 years if you were from Sabay to Matric.
Well, there is a story about.
Okay, give us the stories. We like stories.
I'm not sure I want to talk about this.
No, come on. We got to have it. Out with it. With it.
At the time, I was about 15.
Yeah.
I used to fly model aircraft.
Yes.
Every Sunday morning opposite that field opposite the airport.
Where they play soccer. That's where Barbara's soccer and Casey used to do soccer there.
Yeah. We used to fly model aircraft there.
Okay.
And I got, I don't know how this happened, but I got picked to represent EP at the South African Championships in Pretoria.
Yes, so.
In those days, you didn't hop on the plane and go to Pretoria, you got on the train.
Okay.
And 2 days later, you got to Pretoria.
Yeah, see.
So I went to Brother Leonard, who was the principal, and I explained what had happened to him, and I said to him, please, the championships are on a Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And I need Thursday and Friday for the train to get up there.
Yes.
And Monday and Tuesday to come back again.
Oh,
so eventually he looked at me and he said, Garai, go.
Yeah.
You will never ever amount to anything in life anyway.
Oh my word. Can you believe
You probably couldn't say that to somebody today.
No,
but
you couldn't probably get head up for...
Well, to cut a long story short, by some miracle, I came back South African Junior Victor Ladorum.
Fantastic. And this is the planes, I remember those little motors. They were tiny little motors with a one piston. And you used to put it, and you used to check the compression, put in a little bit of petrol, and that motor used to go. And you used to hold it on the wire then.
Yeah,
and used to go
60-foot line. And you actually control the plane from the airlock, the flippers at the back.
Okay, so you can go up and down.
Yeah. You could do square loops and all sorts of things.
Was it just 2 here and 2 there? Or?
No, it was just 2. And then you'd have combat where you would have 2 people in the center of the ring.
Yes.
With planes with streamers behind, and you've got to cut the other guy's streamer.
Oh! Gee, so it's actually quite a skill then as well.
It's a lot of fun.
Do they still do that?
Yeah, but it's now more control line than. But
radio control.
When I came back, that was kind of put Brother Leonard in his place. He didn't know what to do with me.
Yes.
Because he told me, no, you're never going to amount to anything.
Yes.
So many years later, it turned out, after I qualified, I was a city councillor first time.
Yeah.
I was the chairperson of the committee that gave them permission to sell the school, rezoned it to commercial purposes.
Oh, yes,
so as the chairman of the relevant committee, I was invited to the sod turning ceremony.
Oh, shit.
And I thought to myself, here's your chance. Because Brother Leonard was also invited. And I thought to myself, I'm going to stick my finger in his nose. And say to him, remember me?
Yes.
He said, I'd never amount to anything.
I'm sod turning your school.
Took you 3 years to build the school. I had it knocked down in 3 months. But it never happened because the poor man died of a heart attack.
Oh my
before
word.
The sod.
So you went allowed. Well, Chocho, you know, it would have been very ugly for you to do that. Yes, it was common. Then Samantha says, ask my dad what they did to the one teacher's car. Oh, see, she's outing your stories now. Out with it.
Very briefly, there were big trees all the way out on the pavement outside Maris Brothers.
Yes, yes, the blue gums.
Yeah. And this person, it actually wasn't the teacher, it was one of the pupils who had a little thing called a chochomobile. Do you
Yes,
remember,
yes, I
remember
absolutely.
chochomobiles?
Yes, another one.
And about 14 of us picked up this chochomobile and sideways put it between two trees. We had to squash it in because there was no space. And then we watched the guy cycle for about 3 hours, moving 2 inches at a time,
Like Austin Powers.
trying to get his car out.
Yeah, shame. Oh no. And so, yeah, I mean, the cycling. Where okay, well, after you left Marist, did you do? Was it army those days? Or
No,
was
I
it,
never went to the army.
okay, so did you study at all?
No, I went overseas for a little while. Actually met a Port Elizabethan architect when I was in London,
Yes.
and he and I toured Europe together.
Wow,
in
who's
a motor
that?
car for 2 months. A man by the name of Ian Robertson.
Oh, okay.
His widow was eventually the fashion editor of the newspaper.
Oh, yes, Barbara. Yes, I know
yeah.
Barbara. Yes,
Was
yes.
her first husband.
Okay. Yes, I know Barbara. Barbara's done quite a few things for us over the years, I think, for the newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay, so you toured Europe then.
He and I toured Europe together.
Okay.
I remember going to several universities. He designed UPE.
Oh, did he? Okay.
And he actually went over to go to Europe to look at universities to get some ideas.
Okay.
And he and I toured together
Sure.
there was a deal those days from BMC that if you bought a BMC product here,
Yes.
you could
It's a
have
motor manufacturer.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could have a new one from the factory for 2 months, free of charge.
Sure. Like a hire car kind of thing.
Yeah, but it was free if you
Yeah.
bought as an advert.
Yes.
So Ian bought a BMC product in Port Elizabeth,
Yeah.
and then when I met him in London, we went to the factory and picked up a brand new BMC
In London.
and shipped it over to Norway.
Yeah.
We went.
That's called using your prize.
We did,
fantastic.
we did Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Holland, Germany, the whole lot down to Italy, to Genoa,
Yeah.
all the way along the Mediterranean, down to the south of Spain, Alicante,
Yeah.
then back up again and over the Alps, not the Alps, the
Pyrenees, is it?
that between France and Spain.
Is it
There's
the
a-
Pyrenees?
I think it's the Pyrenees.
Pyrenees is, yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then shipped the car back again. He flew back home and I came home on one of the Union Castle liners.
The liners. Those liners used to make a lot of trips from
I'm not prepared to
Southampton.
tell you a single solitary story about the liners.
the trips on the liners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great fun.
All right. Let's do it. Enough to say that Charles doesn't drink anymore.
That doesn't sound so good.
No, I'm a defense lawyer as well. I'm getting in there. So I mean, what did you do before you did law then?
I sold office machines,
Office machines.
Yeah.
Was that GOM? What is it?
Type-
GAD or GOM?
typewriters and copiers and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Gee whiz.
And
Fax
I
machines.
sold some dictating machines to a lawyer, and we became friendly. And he one day suggested to me, he said, "Have you ever thought of doing law?"
Yeah.
And I had. I thought about it.
Yeah.
So I quit my job and I went to
Jeez.
work for 40 Rand a month
Oh, at his place.
as an article clerk.
Okay. So he was prepared to give you this because articles you got to do,
Yeah.
and then you're in. Wow. Where was that? Who was that lawyer?
Well, he's no longer in PE.
Oh, it's not okay. Okay. Still alive though.
I don't know.
Oh.
Lost contract. We didn't part on very good terms.
Oh. Defense lawyer talk. Here we go. Did you blitzen each other?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. I like the way you phrased that, yes. Oh man. And then the cycling, where did the cycling come in? Because you've done like a million heralds, 31 heralds?
31 heralds.
And it's coming up now as well? Is it a record?
I don't know, it might be.
Let's find out. We'll have to find out. If you've got the world record, you'd have to. You could.
I don't know.
Then Little John's got the underwater one, and you'll have the cycling one. Yeah?
And I've also done the Argus,
The August as well. Okay. How many Augusts is
29.
29.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that in your bucket list then?
There is another August on my bucket list, yes.
So you still got to do it. You've got to do it.
I'd like to do 30. I haven't been... 5 years of politics just didn't allow for
Yeah.
enough training or time off to go and do the August.
Okay.
So that's on my bucket list. I've got to get back on the bike.
Okay. Okay. And because I mean that's obviously a love of yours as well.
Well, it gave me a new perspective on life. I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I changed my lifestyle completely. I changed my diet completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I stopped drinking.
Okay. All right. And then you stopped riding on the new Union Castle.
My lips are sealed.
There's lots of stuff here, Samantha, that he's not wanting to talk about. So, but and then obviously with this like change in lifestyle, change in thing, fitness obviously a big thing.
Yeah.
And I mean you're looking good at 80. So
I've been lucky.
You know.
I don't smoke. I stopped smoking. I stopped drinking totally,
Yeah.
purely because I wanted to ride a bike.
Okay.
And alcohol is fattening,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I stopped drinking.
Because weight is your enemy on the bike.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
big time on the climbs.
Yes. So we had Henriette Skuman on the show.
Lovely girl.
She is such a sweetheart. I love her to bits, and she's still doing her cycling, of course, but she's now doing this piano tuning now as well, and she's loving it.
But Henriette, when she first started riding,
Yes.
rode with the groups that I used to ride with at the time, and she spent quite a long time riding with us.
Okay. Oh,
So
right.
I know Henriette from way
Oh,
back.
love. Somebody tag Henriette, please, as well, on the show. I know she often pops in and says hello.
She did brilliantly when she went overseas.
Yes, no, and she's done one. She's won 7, I think, of the August.
Yeah.
I mean that's incredible.
Very unassuming.
Yeah.
Here we go, 25.
Oh, here we go. 25 finishes.
10 years ago.
Oh, that's 10 years ago already, eh?
25 finishes.
25 finishes to his credit. Port Elizabeth Mayor Charles Garai leads the bunch when it comes to the Herald cycle tour and the green number. So it looks like it is a record, eh?
I asked for number 13.
Oh, okay. Don't you ask for number 13?
I wanted number
Unlucky.
13. No, I don't believe.
None of that stuff for you. It's rubbish. You're proving it as well. It's like, here's my evidence. 13.
31 on Herald's.
31. If you switch it around, it's 13. There we go. That's lucky. And I mean, it's not only the Herald, but the Argus it's a more arduous thing, isn't it? I mean,
The Argus
is more hectic.
You know, if the southeaster is blowing, I think the Herald is actually tougher.
Oh, really? Okay.
When the southeaster is blowing.
Okay.
If the southeaster blows when you go over the top of Maitlands, for the next 52 kilometers, you're going to be into the wind.
Yes, that's tough.
Until about 3 k's from the end, before you Cape Recife.
Yes.
When you turn the corner there, then you got the wind behind you. Otherwise, for 50 odd k's, you're on your, and you get dropped from the bunch, and that happened to me a few times.
Okay.
It's a long ride back.
Do you? Because I think in the Ironman you're not allowed to draft.
Slipstream, yeah.
But you can draft in a.
Yeah, but you know, when you get into, I can remember more than one Herald.
Yes.
When I got dropped going up Maitland. And a bunch comes past on the Seaview Road, and you just haven't got the legs to get in there. And you watch this bunch go past your nose.
Oh no!
And there's another 40 k's to go.
Oh man! Oh no! That is so hectic. You're left with the stragglers. No.
It's left lifelong scars.
I'm sure mental scars.
Yeah.
And any, I mean, now you're looking at possibly doing one more, and I'm sure Samantha's saying, Dad, you can't do it. This crazy.
Well, I had somebody who tried to convince me to do it with him.
Okay.
My good friend Greg, he said we'll do it on the tandem, and he'll carry me. I can't do that to the guy. I like him too much.
Tandem, take it.
No, it wouldn't get up some of the climbs.
Oh right, okay. He's still
I
gonna
would be
push.
a dead weight on the back of this thing.
So you've got to do some training now.
Not only that, I've been riding long enough and hard enough to know it's not practical.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You can do more harm than good. I'd rather
Yeah, yeah.
give myself sufficient time to lose weight
Yes.
and get my legs back again to some extent,
Yes.
and then have a go.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that because that'll be absolutely amazing. There we go. Exactly what I said to him. No more cycle tours.
Yes, sir.
Well, it looks like he's got other plans, Samantha. We'll see how your training goes, and if you can prove to Samantha that you can do it, then I think you're going to be. Then you'll be in. Then you'll be all right.
She's a hot taskmaster.
Oh, really? Oh, I love it. But originally, as well, I mean, we're talking about the cycling now, but something that we spoke about beforehand was you originally from Hungary.
Yes, I was born there.
You're born in Hungary, and your
was.
folks were there during the war.
Correct.
And you were your birthday just before the war. Is that right? Or-
I think I was about 7 or 8 when we came to South Africa.
Yeah.
My dad was a leather technician. He ran a leather tanning company
Okay.
in
okay.
Hungary.
Wow.
And they built a new leather tanning company firm in Bloemfontein.
Yeah. Okay.
And we managed to escape from Hungary. It was under Russian control at that stage.
Yeah.
And
Because you remember these things. I mean, you actually remember.
I remember the war. I remember the bombing. I remember the air raid shelters.
Yo.
I remember being left one room at the back of the house and the Russians taking over the rest of it.
What? I mean, the practicality of war like that. You know, we look at these old war movies and you look at the whole thing, but you don't get the feel of that. Like the Russians are in your house. They've just taken over.
Yep.
From the Germans, I suppose, were there before. I don't know.
I can still remember a dogfight right above our house. I can remember
Wow.
the sound of the machine guns from the planes.
Wow. Holy moly. I mean,
Some things you don't forget.
yeah. I mean, my uncle, I remember my uncle Nedo was similar age to you as well. So possibly a little bit older, but and my grandmother telling me that when the air raid sirens went off, they used to jump on their bicycle. My uncle would jump in the basket in the front, and he'd be like, "Go, go, 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 go" to the air raid shelters. I mean, then you if
Well-
a direct hit, you're still going to get.
Yeah, because I mean it's just earth and nothing
Yeah.
else. I can remember the siren going off. We were running down the pavement to get to a shelter,
Yeah.
and I was going that away, and the Alsatian was going that away on the pavement.
Shame the dogs, the animals.
Yeah, because of the sound of the siren, the
Yeah.
dog couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And we met in the middle of the pavement. He ran right over me like an express
You're
train.
too small.
I was flat on my face on the pavement. He just ran over me.
My word.
But I can remember going down into the air raid shelter. There were candlelight. That's what the lighting was.
Okay.
And I've never forgotten, right at the back of the shelter, with the sand falling off the roof or the ceiling of the shelter,
Yes.
this elderly couple praying and hanging on to each other.
Oh man.
Those are the things you don't
So
forget.
it's just a picture in your mind, you know, of these old people. I mean, they're also from a different time now. You know.
I mean, they were old when I was,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so they were old in 1945. They were born in the 1800s. It's like, what? Kathy Jemyani is saying, as we attain our maturity, Charlie seems to get the roles get reversed. Our kids give instructions. That's right, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Oh my word! And I see Barbara Barnard there saying as well, Charles, good to see you looking so great as well.
Hi, Barbara.
That's nice. But you've had a tough time of it. I mean, and all these from the age of what 5, 6 years old. That was when that was happening. So you had a world war.
Yeah.
I mean, does that toughen you up?
I think it's more left scars of one sort or another.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had to get out of Hungary in the middle of the night to get across the river to get away. Stuff like that.
Wow. So across the road to escape.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, when we flew out to South Africa, my mother and I spent 6 weeks in London waiting for the papers to come through. My dad had come to South Africa already.
Yeah.
He landed here with £5 in his pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, in those days, that was a bit of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, when we landed in Joburg, it wasn't, the name of the airport at that stage was Palmitfontein.
Palmitfontein.
I still got the entry card
Really?
when I came into South Africa.
So you flew in.
We flew in.
Wow.
It's a 2-day flight
Yeah.
from England to South Africa.
What is it, BOAC or what are those ones?
It was a 4-engined, propeller-driven plane,
Yeah.
and the overnight place, stop was a place called Leopoldville in the Congo.
Okay, so they landed there. Oh, you know where I've seen Leopoldville is in those old gramophone valve radios, where you see all these go from Prague to there, and then you get Leopoldville. So I always wondered where that was. So
Leopoldville is in the Congo.
Okay. Gee whiz.
Take my word for it, I've
Yeah,
been there.
been there. It's called, it's probably Kinshasa or something now. I don't know. Somebody can tell
Our
us.
first guest from Leopold.
Yes, you are our first guest that's been to Leopoldville.
Yes.
Yes, man, that's it. You see world records on the horizon.
Why did I wait so long before I came on the show?
I know, I could have. It's incredible. I love it. Coming from there, and yeah, like you said, probably one of those silver comets, or whatever they used to call them, that used to eventually blow apart in the sky, I believe.
No, there was no jet planes in those days.
Yeah.
It was a Skymaster.
Oh, Sky.
4-engine Skymaster.
Okay. So propeller.
And the plane we went across the channel to get to England
Yeah.
was a Dakota,
Okay.
which is a single engine.
Yo. Okay.
Small plane compared
Really?
to
Okay.
a...
Oh, my soul. Well, it was just some of the pilots on the show will remember those planes. And I mean, I used to remember Ron Belling doing all those paintings. He was always the one that used to run outside and say, "Oh, that's a Shackleton," or "That's a whatever." Used to know all the planes. But so landed, got here, basically started from nothing. Started in Joburg.
Well,
Tandem.
my mom and I spent, I think, 6 weeks in Commissioner Street in a hotel,
Okay.
while my dad went on to Bloemfontein.
Oh, Bloemfontein. Okay. Did you guys move down to Bloemfontein?
And then we moved to Bloemfontein.
Okay.
I've never forgotten number 37 Parfit Avenue.
Oh yeah.
Round the corner was the Grey School,
Okay.
and further up was the rugby field.
Oh right. Was it not Grey College?
Yeah,
Grey College.
it's Grey College.
Yeah, Grey College, yeah.
This
Because
one, yeah, this
that's
one.
what I was here. Because they say Grey College or they say the Grey. Is over here on the side. They say the Grey on the side. You see a Grey College there, wouldn't he? There's such a rivalry between those two schools as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a fact.
Yeah. And but you're a Marist boy, Marist
Yeah.
boys. Good Catholic upbringing then.
So they say.
So, there's a lawyer coming out again. All right, and I believe you were speaking as well, but because you've had a scare with cancer as well.
I've had 2 lots of cancer. I've had prostate cancer and I've had kidney.
Okay. And
I owe my life to my urologist.
yes.
I went in for a prostate biopsy and I walked out with kidney cancer.
Wow.
He did a scan and that's how he picked it up.
Wow. Okay.
And he gave me an option: either I cut out the cancer and you're in remission, or if I remove the kidney, you're cancer free. What do you want me to do?
Wow. Okay.
And
So
that's a no-brainer.
that's a no-brainer.
So take the kidney.
Take the kidney
10
out.
days later, the kidney was gone.
Sure. Okay.
Hadn't spread, so I'm over that.
Yeah.
And also the prostate cancers.
Yeah.
As
Also
he
clear
said,
now.
something's going to kill you, but it ain't going to be prostate cancer.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, they say if you can catch it early,
Yeah.
I think that's the.
Well,
that's the
I used to
point.
go
Get your
every year
checks.
for a PSA, and I hope that anybody who's listening,
Yeah,
any male from 40 upwards,
yeah.
go and have a prostate check.
Do the checks. Eh?
It is the most common cancer for men in South Africa. Is prostate cancer,
Yes.
and it's treatable.
So you check those ones. Also the bowel cancer and those things as well. You check get the whole thing done. Get the whole thing done. So
Yeah.
it's worthwhile. Eh?
Yeah.
Absolutely, because the treatments that they've got now.
Well, that kept me off the bike a little bit as well.
Okay.
But
But now
that's-
you're ready again. Hey, Samantha.
It's my bucket list.
Ready to go now again.
It's my bucket list. Get rid of this paunch.
Oh man, I'm just going to see if there's any more funny law cases or I said we've done the telephone record story here as well. But any other sleazy cases that you might have been involved in there with the law?
Not really.
Not too much. Do they just go by in a haze? Those when you're working all the time.
I did mention earlier on
Yes, the guy with the
telephones.
The telephones, yes.
That was one
He
of
had
the...
no proof because the girl
The
was
girls
gone.
were gone and nobody knew where they were.
Yes.
I mean, it was Lulubelle and Tinkerbell and Sunshine and Daisy.
Of course. Mark Bodley says, very interesting. I was at Grey College and the Grey. Oh, you stepped over the barrier there, Mark Bodley. 6 years in each, so I can't lose when playing against each other. he was, what do you...
Well, I got news for him. Okay, the Grey one. They wouldn't play their first team against the Marist first team.
Oh, really?
They said, you're not strong enough.
Oh, right.
They put their second team.
Yes.
I'll never forget, I scored a try.
Oh.
And they just scraped us.
Just
Scraped us.
Yes, see the buggers.
So,
The arrogance of Grey.
what do you expect?
You know, what can you do? That's against the Marist guys.
what can I say?
You know. Oh my word. Okay, I'm going to go through just a couple of now. We're getting to the getting to know you question.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
All right, so we got into the getting to know you question. I know we sometimes go off on a tangent anyway with these
We're probably
questions
going
too.
to, yes.
Yes, so probably I can see it. All right, so the biggest realization that you had about yourself, or a time when there was a moment.
There comes a time when you discover that you're no longer such a useful member to society.
Sure. Yeah.
Because as you get older, there's a perception that once you hit 60, 70,
Yeah.
80, you're over the hill.
Yeah.
I got news for you.
Yeah. No ways.
People are living longer because medicine has improved,
Of course.
substantially.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what, just touching on that point, is that these people with so much experience are often sidelined. And I know there's, in the Netherlands and in these places, I was listening to a radio program the other day, and they're saying that hiring like for your business, somebody to add to your business, putting somebody in there that's retired is a much better prospect than hiring a young person to come in there, because
Well, people want when they're going to hire somebody, they want somebody with experience.
yeah.
The irony of the situation is that when you've got the experience, they say you're too old.
Yes, yes, it's true.
Come on.
Yeah,
I've got how many years of experience behind me?
yeah, of course. It's invaluable. Look, there's another one, Dave Hazelden, saying how's it on the online there.
Hi, Davey.
Dave.
He's my Ward 3 councillor. I live in his ward.
Oh, right, all right. So do you phone him with all the pothole queries?
I see Dave on a daily basis.
He's around here. I think he's my councillor as well, isn't he?
Yes.
I think we've just sorted out the river. I can still smell it a bit from here, but I think we sorted it out now, because we've got because they had the sewage pipes.
No,
right.
Dave's a good councillor.
Yeah.
He does what he's asked to do.
Yeah.
People must understand that at the current moment, the coalition of
Yeah.
corruption
Yes.
that is running the city,
Yeah.
you're going to get very little in the way of services.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
And there's 26, 28 years of neglect. That's why we're having all these breakdowns at the power stations, the substations.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never clean the
yeah,
oil.
it's a neglect.
Yeah, it's neglect.
And this pump station up here at the sewage system seems to be in trouble at the moment. I don't know. I've seen there's been a lot of reports, and I don't know if it's just because I've just run into sewage problems all over the place, but I don't know. And so we hope that the guys are going to sort it out. We've got Kuster Jack in our area, who's part of the coalition, so we're hoping that Kuster is going to do something. But you know what it's like in politics in the end. Eh?
Xenox.
Yeah, and yeah, he withholds his comment.
A legal answer.
Indeed.
You'd be disappointed if I didn't.
No, I know. No, it's illegal. You're too good with the legal stuff, man. All right, what is a topic you could spend hours talking about?
Bicycles.
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 Dig it.
Yeah,
Have you got an e-bike at all? Have you tried that?
not yet,
Okay, no.
but I'm going in that direction.
yes, that's it. Did you have more Oh, this Gary's just slotted
Did
on
he
a
have
quick
more
question
hope
here.
for
Did he
PE?
have more hope for PE at the time of mayoral transition than materialised? So when you became
Yes.
mayor,
No, that's not how I understand it.
okay.
At the time of the mayoral transition,
Oh, this one.
the
yeah.
transition.
Yeah,
So, no, I had much higher hopes
yeah,
in those days as to what would happen going forward.
yeah,
And it started a steady decline from year to year.
yeah,
Total corruption set in.
yeah,
This is not a secret, it was in the
Yeah.
newspaper. I think by now the fruitless and wasteful expenditure
huge.
must be hitting somewhere around about 30 billion rand.
Yeah. Man, that is scary, eh?
Where's the money gone
Yeah,
to?
yeah. Where is it gone? And but at the same time as that, we've got to try and look forward because we in this on this train. Yeah, we've got to go.
People are entitled to services, they pay for it.
Yeah, yeah,
And at the moment, and I probably shouldn't say this,
yeah,
but the municipality is not functioning nearly at the level that it should be
yeah, yeah,
for a whole variety of reasons.
yeah,
They've lost a lot of manpower, they've lost a lot of knowledge.
yeah.
Again, for a whole variety of reasons. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah, it's just
But it literally is the coalition of corruption.
yeah.
And that's what's brought us to the point where we are now.
Well, maybe I must get our Crystal on again. We must have a chat with him and see how things are going, and see if there is anything positive happening.
He will have a
See.
different perspective.
He might do. Yeah, he might
I
do.
know Costa.
Yes. Okay. The one thing that you really want but can't afford yet.
A nice e-bike.
Oh, nice e-bike. There we go. Maybe we can get a sponsor for you while you're online. Oh man, because those things are amazing. I got to say, I haven't had a ride on one yet, but if you had to go,
A good one will cost you six figures.
yeah, really, eh? You, holy crap, 6 figures.
100,000 rand bike today is not
Yeah,
exceptional.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. No, they'll be over 6 figures if they think. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody can put a special online, and then they'll see how much they are. You get a cheap one.
Samantha can buy one for you.
Samantha can buy one for you. Yes, I'm sure she'll be right in there to buy a bicycle.
You listening, Sammy?
Oh no, but just going quickly back because we skimmed over it a little bit, but that hiring people that have retired people. We've for Gino Spot we've actually got Sue Rhodes who's retired and just recently, and she's fantastic, man. We've been
She's experienced. She knows what to do.
That's the story. We're going to be doing our podcast. We're going to make all these shows into podcasts, and Sue's been going through this stuff. She didn't hear that bit, says Samantha.
That's my girl.
There we go.
Dis pasekant.
Yeah, basekant. Ja, is ja. And so I think fantastic idea to include those guys, because you've got so many years left.
Yeah, but you see, that you've got two opposing perceptions on this. The one camp wants jobs for the youth, and
It's important.
it's very important.
Yeah,
Because we've got a population that will never all be employed
yeah,
at the
Yeah.
percentage levels that it should be.
yes,
So one way of creating employment is to get people to retire.
yeah,
So
Yes.
you create a
yes,
post,
of course.
but
But they should then also become involved in an entrepreneurial space, which is probably where they can be really used.
But unfortunately, and I'm not saying this tongue in cheek,
Yeah,
a lot of people today go to council for the wrong reasons.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So it's for money to try and siphon stuff off. You mean?
I first got, I don't know if I mentioned this, I first got involved, my interest
Yes,
in
with the
local
council.
government started when I was still at school.
Okay.
You've probably heard of the Junior City Council.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I served on the inaugural Junior City Council.
Very first one.
The very first one.
Wow.
I'm the first junior city councillor to become a PE city councillor,
Yeah.
and the first junior city councillor to become the mayor of Port Elizabeth. But the junior city council that was floated in those days was different to the current one.
Yeah.
The main reason at the time behind getting the junior city council together and taking it to the schools was to try and get young people interested enough in local government so that you didn't only have retired businessmen
Yes.
going to serve on council.
Yeah.
And that was the basic concept behind the original junior city council.
Okay.
I don't think it's that anymore.
Yeah.
And it certainly hasn't happened.
Yeah, and there we're going against what we've just said now as well. So we're getting the new people in.
Well,
but you need to have people to come through, of course. And
You've
I'm
got to
sure-
have a turnover of people, otherwise
Yeah,
you're not going to get enough education
Yeah.
through to the people.
No, we need to. And to learn at junior city council level is invaluable, because those people go through with and they know what to expect when they get there. So they can join earlier. And
But that just never happened.
yeah, so it never really came across. I mean, one of the guests that we want to get on, Nanya Bola, she's Professor Nanya Bola now, but she's a political analyst and up in Joburg side. She's with the HRSC,
Whatever.
HRSC.
Whatever.
And she was. I remember her doing junior city council when we were at school as well. So those guys that often went on to the SRCs at university, and they got involved in politics. A lot of them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it did serve a purpose,
Yeah.
but not the original purpose for which it was formed.
Yes.
But it served a purpose.
It did create something,
Yes.
maybe a different effect, but it was also good.
Not what was envisaged in the
Yes.
beginning, but yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but good. Your favorite way to waste time?
Ride a bike.
Oh, there we go. The bikes in with the bikes again. Samantha, you've got an uphill battle coming. Sue saying, there's Sue Rhodes saying, stop it, Gina. Oh, stop it. Give me some more. Go, stop it. No, she's fantastic. I love it. And of course, so a wealth of experience, being able to do look at it from an intellectual point of view. If I had to hire a youngster, they'd be just looking for the paycheck.
Yeah.
And I can't afford that. So we do. We get good value for money with Sue. Absolutely, it's fantastic. Your biggest weakness?
I got more than one.
Oh, you got a couple. Okay, no, bring it on. What you got?
Sometimes I can get impatient.
Okay. Yes, Samantha's rolling her eyes right now.
Probably.
Okay.
Not a word, Sam, not a word.
Too impatient, but that's a typical father thing to say. as well.
I suppose so.
Yes, I know. And your biggest strength?
I tend to think very analytically.
Okay, so overthink things, you mean?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, okay. So are you one of those that you talk about Willow Tree Tea Room? Sorry, man,
My grandmother ran the tea room and was the matron at Matters Brothers back in the days.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
She was Greek. Kokavos. Is that Greek? Is that Greek?
It sounds Greek.
Sound Greek to me, Greg. Samantha said with a good old law.
I think it was the six-figure bike purchase.
Oh, then maybe it was the six-figure bike purchase that she was looking at, laughing at, I think. Oh, no. But yes, so somebody talking about the Willow Tree tea room.
I saw that.
Yes, and there was one that got washed away in the 68 floods as well, down at the beachfront. There was also a willow tree there, I think.
The Palm Grove.
Palm Grove Hotel. Was it hotel?
George Frangopoulos, who later had this Ranch Steakhouse,
Ranch, yes.
ran that
Really?
down on the beachfront.
Wow, okay. George is another one I'd like to probably have on the show at some stage. These Greeks. Now I talk Greg the Greeks.
George passed away
Oh, is he? Is George passed away? That George, okay.
some time back.
Oh, is it? Oh, shame. Okay, I didn't realize that. But yeah, the Greek people, a lot of the Aeneades I'm thinking of, and those guys are,
George opened the ranch.
Okay.
I actually did his wine and malt license application for him.
Oh, really?
When he first opened. He never had money to pay me, so he paid me in steaks over a period of time.
Oh, lovely. You do a trade swap with a lawyer.
Yeah. The good old barter system.
There we go. If you're ever in trouble with the law, just to make sure that you can make enough food that you can feed Charles and he'll be all right. I'm more impatient than my dad, says Samantha. Oh my word. There we go. George Castus is a Greek mafia. That's the one. That's George Castus as well. Yeah. And wasn't it? Yes, George Castus didn't he own one of the beachfront as well? The Coachman, I think.
I don't know if that was Castus.
Yeah, I think
was it?
I think that might be Castus and Dawn.
The wife's name was Dawn.
Yes.
Emil's uncle.
Yes, Emmanuel Castus. He's the actor. They've got famous family, those Greeks, eh? But we know the Hellenic is still pretty active, I think, these days as well. The Hellenic's going well.
But it's like the Jewish community. There's not much of it left.
Yeah, the Italians too. Yes, the Coachman. There we go. Greeks is the Coachman. And all those communities, they come to me now. This Gino, why don't you come to the club anymore? Have you got the vest on? Where you going? No. You're not eating. Look at you. You're not eating. Why are you not eating? I can see. No, that's fine. I can find. No, you must eat some pasta, please. Come to my house. I love it. Any notoriously difficult customers or people that you've dealt with that were difficult?
Not particularly, no.
Not even in the selling the office machinery days?
No, not really.
No, that's right.
I don't have any bad memories of that.
You clearly can handle those people well then. I think must be. Okay, amongst your friends and family, amongst your listening to you in Texas, Carl Gustafson with lots of S's. Thank you for listening. I think it's the first Texan we've had, eh? Carl, and you're the first Texan we had the whole time. I think. Do you remember Dougie Crease?
Yes, I remember Dougie.
Oh, was Dougie also?
Oh, no, I remember Dougie.
Yes.
He was one of the criminal attorneys in
Really?
PE.
Okay.
The other one that did a lot of criminal work was Gideon Haysimon.
Oh, okay, there's someone. Yes. Okay.
But Dougie Crease I remember very clearly.
And it's not a dangerous thing to be in. I mean, you don't strike me as a gun-toting, wielding gangster guy. So, is it a criminal law can be quite hectic, I would imagine.
Well, it depends who you're dealing with.
Yes, you must have dealt with some woo.
Many years ago,
yes,
I acted for, there were a couple of gangs, the Mongrels.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the other one. Yeah, I was working in Utenek at the time.
Okay.
And I was defending one of the gang members from each gang at the same time, which was not very safe to do.
Okay.
And both of them were in court at the same time, on the same corridor, on opposite sides of the corridor. So I'd appear in say, A court for so and so,
yes.
and I walk across the corridor and to C court and act for a gang member from the other, and neither one must know about the other one.
Whoa! So you have to keep them apart. Oh my soul, that is just so hectic. I don't even know if it's even that bad in Texas.
You can tell us.
Yeah, tell us. How's it in Texas there? What's the weather like at the moment? What's going on there? I don't even know what time it is in Texas.
Well,
you'll have to tell us.
They must be about 10
hours.
11 hours behind us.
Behind us, yeah. So it's still daytime there. Yeah, going there. Still daytime there.
I had a friend who was in New Zealand.
Yes.
And he went to America
Yes.
And he landed in America the day before he left because he
back
went
in time.
west.
Yes, he went the other way around.
Correct.
Past the dateline.
So he had 2 Wednesdays, the one in New Zealand, the one on the west coast of
Just
America.
lived an extra day.
Yeah.
That's a classic. I love it. Oh man. Okay, a couple more questions and then our final bit. We won't keep you the whole night. Yeah, otherwise we'll be talking the whole night. You've got so many stories. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, it's like kind of come and
Yeah.
one thing leads to another. And
You're right. You're right. It's just twigs another memory for another thing. The most physically painful thing you've ever experienced.
drilling a tooth under the old system when they never had the air-driven drills.
Oh.
They had it on. Did you ever know those?
No.
The drill was run by a piece of light cord.
Oh my soul, like a belt.
Yeah, and so the thing will.
Oh no.
This thing runs at what, 100,000 RPM or something, and it's air-driven.
Oh my soul, they're 9 hours behind. There we go. It's 12,
9 hours.
12 noon. Oh, that lovely. So heat of the day coming down. This is Brian Wilkinson saying, when I was a kid, the most fascinating car to drive around was CB1. If it drove past, we'd all run home and tell the folks, we just saw the Lord Mayor. Oh, no, you love bicycles.
Yeah.
You know, CB1, it's true. Everybody saw CB. It was quite cool to see that riding around somewhere.
Funny, I never actually looked at it like that.
Yeah.
Probably because I was inside the system.
Yes.
So for me, it was different to
Yeah.
people on the outside.
Yes, of course it always is. It's a job in the end. It becomes a job, you know.
Well, it's like I said, what we did with Monty and his birthday.
Yes. Yeah, very nice. I love that. Okay, so the biggest learning experience you've ever had?
Is to analyze something correctly.
Yeah.
Think about it, and don't be over hasty.
Okay, so step back a little bit and...
Yeah. And try and keep your emotions out of it.
Oh, yeah, because that must be difficult in the law, in the law thing.
Yeah.
Sure, and even in politics.
Politics, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's more obvious in
But I mean,
politics.
if there's some hectic cases, if it's rape cases or abuse cases or something like that, I mean, that must be emotional.
But depending if there's children involved.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's rough, eh?
Well, you've got a choice. You can either take the matter on or not take it on.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you don't do the case, there's 50 other lawyers
Yeah.
who will do the case.
Yeah.
So you're not achieving anything.
Yeah.
There's certain cases that I've never accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm entitled to do that.
Yeah, you can just say no. Yeah.
I don't want to do that. End of
Sure.
story.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it gets. I can only imagine. It must be very some very difficult decisions. I like this one. The most bogus rumor that you've ever heard about yourself.
That I'm rich.
Oh, really? That's Samantha's dad. He's rich. Samantha, you're waiting for a big paycheck. If you are, you've just been told it's not coming. Lovely. And then see, has your life been different? How different has your life been from what you imagined when you started?
That's a tough one. Because I changed countries, I changed cultures. We landed in South Africa, couldn't speak a word of English.
Yes, yeah.
We went, my dad and I both, not at the same school,
Yeah.
but we both went to Sub A
Wow.
to learn English.
So even your parents couldn't speak
Not
English.
a word.
And why South Africa? Why would you have chosen South Africa?
I don't know how my dad got it, but I think I mentioned to you,
Yes.
they built a new tanning
Oh.
factory in Bloemfontein,
Oh, okay.
and they
okay.
needed somebody to manage it.
Maybe it was from his company, because I know that my grandfather came for the paper industry.
Okay.
So they built a new factory here. He was the maintenance manager. My nono was the maintenance manager here at Deal Party for Sappi, Adamas.
My dad continued to do in South Africa what he was doing in Hungary,
Yeah.
the same profession.
Yes. So they brought it probably through the company.
Well, I think they were pretty thin on the ground, a qualified leather technician
Okay.
or chemist, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So you
and
must.
that's what brought
us.
us to South Africa.
It's amazing, and then to learn English from scratch, head to Marist. I mean, that's incredible. You've had an unbelievable life, Charles, and still going strong. Ready for the. What does Samantha say there? I missed that quickly. There it says, "Well, that dashes a lot of expectations."
Ek sê mos vir jou, dis pas se kind daai.
Ja, nee, sê ek sien jou. Samantha, we were out all those secrets, you know. But Charles, thank you so much. It's been amazing learning about your
It's been a
life.
pleasure.
And we're gunning for you for that. Samantha, you better get that e-bike ready because you've got to do that August. It's 29. You've got to do the 30. Yeah. And
It's just a bucket list item.
it is, yeah, I think so. They can go around slowly. He doesn't have to go win the race, you know.
I've got the sub 3 hour times. I've got nothing
Oh,
to
wow.
prove to myself.
That's amazing. Okay, so you've got some good times there. Excellent.
I have.
Charles, thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yes, it has.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it tonight.
I've enjoyed myself too.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And I hope that I stirred a couple of memories for you.
You did.
And well, one question we do have for the last question is your most embarrassing moment.
No names mentioned.
No names mentioned.
I was at a house party
Yes.
chatting to a lady.
Oh, house party. When was this? It was like the 80s, 70s. I'm going to get a picture. here.
My lips are sealed.
Okay.
And I was chatting to a lady,
Yes.
and I said to her, she gave me her name,
Yes.
and I said to her, "Oh, you must be so-and-so's mother."
Yes.
And she looked at me and she said, "No, I'm his sister." There was nothing I could say.
Oh, my word. Was it an important person, you mean? It was like a very influential person as well?
Yes.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, you know.
That's one of the few times in my life I've been speechless.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's no, Gino, there's no
coming back.
There's no comeback from
No,
that.
it's like saying, "Oh, congratulations about the baby," and
Yeah.
there's no baby. Oh, I've been there. I've been that soldier.
That was my most embarrassing moment.
Oh no, Charles, thank you so much for coming on board. It's been fantastic, and
I've enjoyed it, Gino.
Fantastic.
I really have.
we've got a competition to do now, and what I do is I play the drums. So you'll have to block your ears because it gets loud in here, Charles.
Okay.
And I play a song, and those of you online who are left online now, you can type the answer. I want the name of the artist and the song in the comments. The first one to get it in the comments wins a case of Fitch and Leeds, which I'm going to give you some Fitch and Leeds stuff. You can choose your ones that you can, because you don't drink alcohol, so you can choose the cool drink ones. It's fine.
Okay.
They don't come with alcohol in them. All right, so I'm going to put in my. Here we go. I'm going to put in my my earphones. Get back on the microphone here. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're going to get onto the drum cam. So I need to know. I'm going to probably need this to come up in my monitors here as well. I don't know which one it is that goes in. It's the laptop one, I suppose. It'll go up in my monitor. All right, and we're going to play the song, and then I want to know the name of the artist and or the name of the song. Whoever gets it first gets the case of Fitch and Leeds. All right.
Justify one man to overthrow. Sing it! Sing!
But a winner indeed. We have it, ladies and gentlemen, and it is Samantha. She was sharp on the button. Thank you, Sam. We're going to send you some picture leads as well. You and your dad to drink it together. You can have gin in it, but he won't. All right, thank you so much, Charles. It's been fantastic to be having you here. And we'll see you guys on Thursday. Thursday this week, we have Thursday. It's Gavin Hogg. It's Gavin Hogg on Thursday. I think I forgot. Gavin Hogg from Cerebos. We're going to be chatting to him, and we're going to have some fun with that. Thank you to Fitch and Needs. Thank you to Spa. Thank you to Romobia for our incense. And thanks to Black Cats as well. And we'll see you on Thursday. Woo! Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino Shot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino Spot.